Have you ever had the feeling that you are at the top of your game? Well, that was me, 15 years ago. Fresh out of Art Academy and ready to become the greatest artist since Leonardo Da Vinci. Yes, I was ambitious. And yes, I had every reason to be. I was accepted to a master's program. And then I met my wife, Ruth. Well, it's supposed to be a picture of her. We'll be there. She gave up smoking for me, and I became a vegetarian for her. At the age of 25, I had found the love of my life. Sounds great, right? This was a whole new life. Everything changed. And I became a little stressy. And then even more stressed. And after a while, I started hitting my wife. I broke her shoulder bone just because I could. And within weeks, violence had become a habit. Never before in my life, look at me, I'd been anything but gentle. So this woman was clearly bringing out the beast in me. And then she told me, hey, find help, or we're going to split up. I didn't want to lose her. So I began therapy. It started with a singing bowl therapy, followed by rebirthing sessions, hypnotherapy, and then Chinese acupuncture, where I had to drink those disgusting teas, which I still taste today. And then I went to an osteopath, and he said I was much, much too healthy. Okay. And then I went on to Tai Chi. I couldn't wrap my brain around that. It's too difficult. And then I went to psychoanalysis for a few years. Didn't help. I did the RED training. And we visited many, many relationship counselors. And how can I forget those 10 weeks of triple P course for positive parenting? Meanwhile, my GP prescribed painkillers for my crushing headaches. Not that it helped. And in between all these therapies, I was working in my atelier, obsessively. I produced like more than 100 drawings a year. My gallerist was happy. They sold them like hotcakes. And I was unhappy. I was unhappy as hell, working like a slave in my own gold mine. Over the course of these 10 years of therapies, our children were born. At first, I was a gentle daddy, a playful daddy. And then I became angry and violent. And at the end, I became paranoid. Everything fell completely apart. We had 5 miscarriages. And I wanted to work, but I couldn't anymore. I was suicidal. And I wanted our third child in my wife's womb gone. In a way, I'm blessed with loss of memory loss. So I forgot most of what happened. But what I do know is that I promised my wife more than once that one night, in their sleep, I would murder our family so that we could be at peace together. And still, not once did anyone came up with the idea that maybe all my problems had something to do with something inside my body instead of my personality. In September 2008, a brilliant shrink diagnosed me with ADHD. Wow. Then I came up with that. Jesus, stupid. Days later, at the 6th birthday of my second son, I snapped. While cutting the cake, it really went like this. Cutting the cake, I smelled something strange. I heard weird sounds. And then I disappeared into the black hole of a seizure that lasted for 45 minutes. I'd read somewhere that if you have an epileptic fit like this, it could also be the sign of something else. My neurologist said, he smiled and he said, okay, if that puts your mind at ease, I schedule an MRI scan. And he did, 1 month later. And the MRI scan revealed a benign brain tumor at the size of this potato. And it had been growing there for at least 10 years. Man, I was relieved. I wasn't crazy. I was ill. So I enjoyed my illness for the full 2 weeks. And then the tumor was removed, and I was well again. The first year, I was euphoric. You could truly say, I was born again. Wow, what a feeling. In a few days, I went back to my studio, and the work just gushed out of me. But when time went by, and I resumed my normal life, I discovered things weren't that well after all. I couldn't stand my 3 boys, couldn't deal with them. I would be angry for no reason at all. And simple things like 2 words or 2 sounds at the same time would unleash my aggression. And then when I went back to, then I talked with my wife. Working also triggered me. The roaring river that once had been me had trickled down to a silent stream. I longed for my usual flow, but it had vanished. Last summer, my wife said, I'm sorry, Tom, but I think I'm going to find a way out for me and the boys. I think I'm going to leave you. Lucky for me, she didn't. She stayed. And she still tried to help me. And then she came up with these 3 simple words. Acquired brain impairment. In normal words, brain damage contracted later in life. It took us more than 8 months to get an appointment at the Neuro Rehab Center in Amsterdam. Finally inside, it took Marty Fink no more than 8 minutes to establish that indeed I have considerable brain impairment. My aggression, my impulsivity, my disinhibition, my depression, my lethargy, my memory loss, my lack of empathy, a clear case of frontal lobe syndrome. Within days, I was admitted to the program. And after 15 years of doubting myself, I felt safe. My awareness grows, and new insights help me to be a little peace at myself. Time is going too fast for me. I'm sorry. I look at myself from a helicopter perspective, and it helps. And they taught me to block the first domino so the rest won't collapse. I have to learn to find a new flow in my work. But I think I will. I just have to learn to slow down. So far, this is my story. And I was lucky. Like me, there are thousands undiagnosed. And I hope that my story will help you help them. Thank you.